Why is it so damn good to have some solo carry champions on your account? The kind of champions that can solo very specific bosses and things like Doom Tower, dungeons and stuff like that. Well, reason number one is, of course, you can level food champions alongside your solo champ, right? If you have a champion that can solo Dragon 20, for example, and a Dragon tournament comes up, you can farm the crap out of the tournament points using just one champ and then throw 4 food champions to level alongside that champ as he kind of does his thing. That's awesome. And next, rather than having to build out a full champion team to take on a very specific Doom Tower boss that you're stuck on, like bommal or whatever, or Scarab King, you can have one champ take care of that boss instead, and it allows you to, for one, not get stuck on the boss, but for two, allows you to just build your other champions to specialize in other areas of the game. So what is up, guys? This is Cobb, and welcome to 5 rather unusual, kind of weird, trippy solo carry champs, man, that haven't yet made the list. The list, by the way, is on screen right now. We've covered a whole bunch of solo carry epics and legendaries that you might want to collect already. And here are 5 more starting in the Orcs faction. Dude, this is a damn good one. The first time I checked out Torture Helm, I was not sold at all on this guy. What an absolutely mad looking dude he is. Let's check out his kit and talk about how you can solo carry up to Dragon Stage 20 with Torture Helm. Just an epic HP champ as well, man. This guy is nuts. Okay, so the A1, attack one enemy with a 30% chance of stealing one random buff from the target. It's fine, I guess. I mean, yeah, it's a little bit crappy. The A2, big man, attacks one enemy, damages proportional to this champion's max HP, and increases according to the number of dead allies. Dude, this is a 3-turn cooldown, and as long as you're building this guy with a ton of health, which you will be, right? He's going to be in lifesteal gear, and then just like a little bit of immortal and stuff like that, and you're just trying to blast up his max HP as much as you possibly can. Yeah, this skill hits real hard, but is it enough to get the dragon dead in time before the dragon just kind of one-shots Torture Helm? It's not, but that doesn't actually matter because of the passive. 3-turn cooldown, unkillable passive, revives this champion with half HP when killed. Dude, so this is not a quick dragon clear. He can go up to Dragon Stage 20, I believe. I'm not sure he can go beyond that. And it is a damn slow clear. It takes like 4 or 5 minutes for Torture Helm to kind of plink his way through all of the waves, then eventually plink his way through the dragon. But if you build him with enough speed, I think he needs like north of 200 speed. And the idea is that you are taking 2 turns on Torture Helm for every 1 turn that the dragon takes, such that you get this unkillable passive back in time every time. Okay, so he is literally unkillable as far as the dragon is concerned, and then he just kind of mows it down with the A2. Now, we've already said you want to put him in some lifesteal gear, and he's going to be in lifesteal just to kind of wade his way through all of the waves at the start of Dragon, and the immortal set also helps out for that as well. And yeah, this guy can actually work. Again, he can't take you all the way into the mega late stages of Dragon, but Dragon 20, for an epic champ, pretty solid. To be honest, I think I'm just more of a fan of Torture Helm because he's an epic champion that can pull off something that it just doesn't feel right for him to be able to do. It feels like a little bit of a cheat code. Next, we're going to be covering good old Corvus, man, of the Sacred Order faction. Legendary defense champ, got some Plague Doctor aesthetic going on. Looks absolutely sweet. And this guy can take you up to Dragon Hard Stage 9. Practically solo. Man, I'm actually doubting myself here. Stage 9 hard dragon? Can Corvus actually do that? I know for a fact he can go up to stage 24 normal dragon, just because of the way that the affinities land and stuff like that. But let's break down the kit, man. This guy is an absolute juggernaut of a solo champ, man. The A1 attacks one enemy. 60% chance actually of placing a strong decrease attack debuff for a couple of turns. And this is what I mean. He's just a tanky son of a gun. The A1 is already contributing towards that. The A2, it's a double hitter on the 3-turn cooldown. Attack all enemies 2 times. So it really actually helps him wade his way through the waves before you get to Dragon. He's not super sluggish at getting that done, which is nice. The first, it increases the duration of all enemy debuffs by 1 turn. Second, it increases the duration of all all ally buffs by 1 turn. Pretty solid. And the A3, attack all enemies again 2 times. So another double hitter, man. He chows through the gosh darn waves. Each hit with a 100% chance of placing 2 strong poison debuffs for a couple of turns. Also places strong poison sensitivity on enemies. Yeah, with 2 or more poison debuffs, which obviously they're going to have on them because you just put 2 poison debuffs on them. So sweet. And the passive just contributes even more towards his absolute ungodly tankiness. That is, decreases the damage enemies under poison debuffs inflict. 5% less damage per poison debuffs, stacks up to 25%. And yeah, get this guy in a gosh darn regeneration set, tank him up. You can also put him in like a speed 2 set or something like an immortal 2 set will obviously work as well. That is Corvus. What else could he solo? I actually don't know. I just know about Dragon Man, and he's an absolute giga chad. There we go. Okay. Promo code time, boys. Got 2 promo codes for y'all today. Some of you might have already known about this one, but it's been out for like, I don't know, 5 or 6 days or so. I think it's active for about a week from now. So yeah, make sure you get Raiding Reddit 200k used. If you haven't already, it will reward you with 200 multi-battles, 200 energy, and 200,000 silver. So a happy little freebie. I think I'm actually going to save it myself. I'm not going to use it just yet. I'm going to be saving it for the champ training events and stuff like that as soon as the Wixwell Fusion gets up and running. And the next promo code is, of course, our promo code, GameLeap. This is going to get you 10 free experience brews, a free energy refill, and 100,000 silver, man. So, there you go. Get those 2 codes used. Every little helps. That's it, really. Skinwalker's faction time, and I can't believe I haven't covered this guy just yet, man, but good old Akemtum. This guy, I believe, can solo up to Dragon 25, and even can go extremely, extremely far insofar as soloing Spider as well. His kit is just kind of insane. We can actually start by covering the A2, because this is really the backbone of his kit, right? It's an attack all enemies 3 times, okay? On a 310 cooldown, dude. And fully bucked up, this debuff chance becomes a 75% chance on each hit of increasing the duration of any hex debuffs on enemies by 1 turn. And if enemies are not already hexed, then each hit instead has that 75% chance of placing the hex debuff. So he is just mashing hex debuffs on everybody, all of the goddamn spiderlings, for example, if you want to take him there. But yeah, it's just absolutely insane. Obviously fantastically good as well for chewing your way through the waves leading up to a dungeon boss. The A1 is his poison applier, right? Attack one enemy 3 times, each hit with a 50% chance of placing a strong poison debuff. If the target is under a hex debuff, each hit also has a 50% chance of applying a debuff spread effect, taking 1 random debuff from the target and placing it on all enemies. So he's basically poisoning everything. He's hexing the crap out of everything. Passive Hex Blood, 100% chance of inflicting damage from 1 poison debuff to enemies under a hex debuff whenever their allies receive damage from poison debuffs. Dude, it's just poison explosions everywhere with the Akemtum, which of course is very, very good against Dragon. Super, super effective because of its AoE potential, even against Spider. Absolutely a solo god. Now, when it comes to building your Akemtum to be a solo Giga Chad, most people I've seen tend to run him in lifesteal gear, and then with a couple of pieces of Immortal on top of that. Trying to hit that 200 speed number as well is kind of a big deal. But not only that, we also see people build him with as close to 100% crit as possible, just because he has so many multi-hitters, right? It's a triple hitter on the A1, it's a triple hitter on the A2, so just having 100% crit dialed in, even though he's a very, very debuff-focused champ, still having 100% crit on a guy who's just hitting in so many times is obviously super, super worth. And just jumping into the Masteries tree real quick for my Archer Queen, what you want on a Akemtum is going to be Giant Slayer, right? Because again, all of his attacks are triple hitters, so having a 30% chance of inflicting bonus damage when attacking, bonus damage is equal to 3% of the target's max HP if it's a boss, is a huge, huge deal if you're building a solo carry Akemtum. Next up, we've got a slightly weaker solo carry champ. Can take you up to, I believe some people say, Spider 20. Can also be excellent for soloing the crap out of Ice Golem. I think she actually does a little bit better into soloing Ice Golem, but it's going to be good old Tila Gorman, which, by the way, if you check out her reviews, oh my god, are these like not great reviews, man. Like, I don't know if she was released and she was like really, really garbage and then she was buffed up at a later date, or if she was released and she was just received in a very, very underwhelming sense. Overall, maybe she's just a somewhat underpowered legendary, but she can still do a pretty damn good job for you when it comes to soloing dungeons, right? Again, particularly Spider and Ice Golem, man. And that really comes down to the durability in her kit. So the A1, attack 1 enemy, steal a random buff from the target, also has a 50% chance of stealing another random buff, blah, 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 right? Not a big deal on the A1. All of her potential, all of her power comes in with the A2 and the A3. So the A2, and attack all enemies with a 100% chance of placing a HP burn debuff for 2 turns, also places a continuous heal buff on all allies for 2 turns. Very, very important stuff, right? To have, these kind of continuous heal mechanics. We've seen it on, like, was it like God, Bad El Khazar? Is that his name? Like, we've seen like a few like epic and legendary champs that we've covered in this video series so far that have continuous heals and stuff like this built into their kit, and it really, really does help out a lot, especially in places like Ice Golem, where it's going to be a bit of a slow back and forth slugfest, and the champ has to live for a really, really long time. On the A2, sorry, the A3, It's an attack all enemies on a 4-turn cooldown, has 100% chance of increasing the duration of all HP burn debuffs on all enemies by 1 turn. Also has a 100% chance of placing a leech debuff and a hex debuff for 2 turns. So the hex helping out with the AoE a little bit. Very, very nice. The leech helping out even more with her survivability. And yeah, while she can't go quite as far as other legendary solo carry champs, like she's got about the solo carry potential, or like the dungeon soloing potential that you'd expect from like an epic champion. So she's not like super, super dialed in. She's not like a she's not like a Kempton that we've just covered, you know? But hey, man. Regeneration set, max her out as much as you can as far as their defensive stats. An immortal set as well will also help you out quite a bit. You will also need to stack a pretty solid amount of accuracy also on Tila Gorman, which I guess is part of the reason that she's maybe just a little bit less reliable. You're kind of like juggling quite a few stats to get her into a good place to be a solo carry champ. But if you get the accuracy, you can get the speed, you can get the survivability, she can do a job. And last but certainly not least, boys, I was blown away that I hadn't covered this champion just yet. Where is she, man? Good old Cornelia, dude. This champ is nuts, okay? If you know what she does, then you know what's coming. If you don't, dude, this is crazy as hell. This is the only champ we've covered on... This is the 3rd video in the series. This is the only champ that we're going to be covering so far who is using a toxic set. Because she doesn't actually have a way to kill stuff built into her kit. But she is immortal, and that's all that matters, okay? Very, very, very slow clear speeds. For God's sake, I can't speak. Screw, we're just gonna stick with that, man. She's got a very, very clear speed, okay? When it comes to the stuff that she can beat. But let's just break down the kit, man. So the A1 is an attack 1 enemy with 50% chance of increasing the cooldown of one of the target's skills by 2 turns at random. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Not really useful for what we're looking for. The A2, very, very good arena ability, by the way, on this A2. 100% chance of placing a sleep debuff on all enemies for 1 turn. Whenever an enemy loses a sleep debuff placed by the skill, has a 50% chance of replacing it with fear debuff for 1 turn instead. Very, very excellent for arena openers. Fantastic, fantastic stuff. That said, useless for what we are looking for, right? Such that you'll probably be in fact, you're definitely disabling this A2 if you're using it as a solo carry champ. This is where it's at. The good old A3, okay? A3, man. 2-turn cooldown. What is going on with that? That's nuts, okay? So, places a sleep debuff on an ally for 1 turn, including, by the way, she's going to be casting this on herself, right? When it says an ally, it doesn't mean any friendly champ, including herself, okay? So she's going to be sleeping herself. Well, why would she do such a thing? It doesn't make any sense. Heals that ally by 100%, okay, and completely fills their turn meter if the sleep debuff is lost due to taking damage from an enemy. Dude. So if you put yourself to sleep, right, an enemy dinks you in the face, you heal to full, and your turn meter gets instantly filled. And so, this skill basically has a 1-turn cooldown. It just has no cooldown, pretty much, right? Because it's a 2-turn by default. And then your turn meter gets filled as soon as you get woken up, and you're full healing. So you're literally just attacking in with the A1, put yourself to sleep, attacking with the A1, put yourself to sleep, attack with it. And because you're wearing a toxic set, you have that small chance of placing a poison on the A1. So you can't die, and you will eventually poison down whatever it is you're dinking with the A1. And it's so dumb, man, because it's so slow. We're talking like 15, 16, 17 minutes clear speeds, right? It takes a long, long time. But if you build Cornelia to do this job, okay, and then it comes to Doom Tower, and you're stuck on a certain boss, right? You're up against like a Dreadhorn Bommal, or you're up against Nether Spider, and you're stuck, right? Cornelia can do the job. Scarab King, you know, you build it correctly, she can do the job, right? And so while you're not going to be blasting through these bosses, it can get you over the hump, right? It can get you unstuck from whatever floor you're getting stuck on, for whatever boss you're getting stuck on in a very specific Doom Tower scenario. And it's like a few Doom Tower bosses that she can actually do work against with this super, super cheesy way of building it. How are you going to be building Cornelia? HP, defense, just as much tankiness as possible. She can only really die if she gets like 1 or 2 shotted, you know what I'm saying? Like, she can only really die to a huge burst of damage, so just build her to be as tanky as possible. Because you're using the toxic set in order to land the poison effects, the toxic set does not require accuracy at all. Okay, so if you're not using it in arena and you don't need the A2 to have accuracy built, you can skip accuracy completely, which is really cool, right? You can just kind of completely skip out on accuracy and just build her to be the tankiest raid boss you can possibly make. Speed is obviously also going to be as important as it always is on other champs. You know, some speed substats, certainly speed boots are still going to be a thing. But yeah, that's Cornelia, dude. Give it a try, man. Dude, I'd be so excited if I got this champ, man. Just being able to unlock 3 dungeon tower bosses like that and just beat them pretty much no matter what. Even if it's a really, really slow clear, that would be a dream. Alright, man. That is 5 rather weird in this video epic and legendary champions that you can abuse to solo your way through various stages of, I guess, like some late game content in Raid Shadow Legends. So hope you all did enjoy. Make sure to hit like, comment, and subscribe down below so you're more likely to catch future uploads. If you're looking to kickstart a new Raid Shadow Legends account, okay, make sure to do so by clicking on the promo link down below at the top of the video description. Doing so will start your new account with a free epic champion and a whole bunch of starting goodies. It is the best possible way to jumpstart your new Raid Shadow Legends adventure. So, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you all did enjoy this one, and I'm going to catch all of y'all just a tad bit later, man.